Hey, hi friend, welcome. If you're watching this video or listening to this, then you've probably completed my self-talk type quiz. If you haven't taken the quiz yet, you can find it at wayhomewellness.com/self-talk. If you have taken it and you got the result of being the over-criticizer in the way that you talk to yourself, then this video is for you. I want to say something very important before I say anything else, and it's that I hope you know that that voice is not who you actually are. There's not something wrong with you. You're not secretly cold-hearted and not capable of compassion and empathy like other people are. I want you to know that most inner critics or demeaning self-talk voices are actually internalized voices, which we've taken on from caregivers or authority figures, partners, systems, even cultures that equated pressure with safety or taught us that performance is how we get our worth. And so, a lot of times in life, we may have this outlook as if someone else has figured out something that we haven't, that they know something we don't, that there's a right way to do it, and that they have it right, and we've failed at it, or we're not doing it the same way that everybody else is. I want you to know that this is just the story that that voice inside your head has concocted in response to what has happened to you or things that you've been around that felt unsafe. So if your self-talk has sounded harsh or demanding, even unforgiving, I want you to know that that doesn't actually give you evidence that you hate yourself. It just means that someone, somewhere along the way, or situations, taught your inner system that staying vigilant and scanning for threats and performing in that way was necessary for you to feel safe. So, this could mean that mistakes for you were not safe to make. Maybe you wouldn't reach the same amount of acceptance and forgiveness as you might have if you had performed it correctly. Maybe rest wasn't modeled for you. You didn't get to learn that that was a crucial part of self care and self love. Or maybe you learned that success was the only way to truly avoid shame and be accepted. This could look different ways for different people. But I want you to know that this over criticism is rooted in experiences just like this, where perfectionism or overperforming felt like a way where we could gain approval that we truly needed to feel in order to feel good about ourselves or to fit in with the pack and have that sense of safety that we actually require as mammals to thrive and to grow. And so this perfectionism, this performance may have helped you excel in your life. It may have helped you escape from judgment. So a lot of times we can look at the way that our loved ones, our parents, our peers, people we looked up to, the way that they gave us feedback on what we were putting out into the world, that has determined the way that our inner critic has formed, the way our self-talk has formed. And so, if we perceive feedback, even in a way that was critical or harsh, a lot of times we could take that pattern on ourselves and carry that forward into adulthood with us. So, this does not necessarily mean that you simply mimicked the way someone spoke. This could also mean that the way they spoke to you was perceived in a way that your brain decided to protect you against. Hey, we need to act this way in order to get better feedback in the future. So, the key takeaway here is that I want you to know your inner critic is not trying to destroy you. It's not trying to take you down and convince you that you're awful and you're not worthy of love. It has been trying to protect you in its own way through a form of control, because that might be what worked for you in the past. And so, the problem here is not the voice itself. It's just that that voice never learned to take a back seat and be influenced by compassion, by confidence leading the way. And that takes time sometimes. So, the worksheet that I created for the over criticizer, and if you don't have that guidebook, you can get it in the description below. The worksheet I've created for you is not about replacing the inner criticizer with positive affirmations. A lot of times that will actually backfire because you will feel like you're BSing yourself and it could cause a shame spiral. So, this worksheet is going to be about changing the relationship that you have with that voice. and helping your system learn that it actually doesn't need constant surveillance in order to feel safe and be okay. So when this criticizing part of you softens, it's not going to be because you argued with it or because you wrestled it into submission. It's going to be because your body experienced relief and you learn that it's okay to relax. That doesn't mean that you're lazy. That doesn't mean that you're failing. That does not mean that you're behind. And it does not mean that you're going to be sacrificing or losing out on attention and validation and praise, because you're just as worthy of those things even when you make mistakes and even when you're not performing anything. So just know that you are absolutely allowed to exist without constantly improving yourself. This work is not going to be about becoming better. It's going to be about feeling safer to be who you truly are. So if it feels overwhelming for you, or if not, and you just want to chat or talk more about the things that you're digging into here, just know that you can find me on Instagram at Way Home Wellness. You can message me on there, or you can always email me at Ashana, ASHANA, at wayhomewellness.com.